here we go. And I appear out of nowhere. Hey everybody, how you doing? Welcome to, we're gonna go with Wisdom Wednesday, but I think WTF Wednesday is a little bit more, better title for sure, right?
Agree with that. It's always.
I'm gonna adjust my monitor here. Are you watching the comments? Can you see if anybody or when people join?
Yeah, we got a couple people on here.
Awesome. Hey, thanks everybody. Happy Wednesday. Good morning. Thank you for spending a few minutes of your time with us. My name is Patty. I'm out here in Las Vegas. I'm a real estate agent. I'm one of the admins with Ben, who's right next to me over here with the BSN Network Buy Sell Network Group. Ben, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Benjamin, and I am the admin I'm one of the admins for Buy Sell Network here in Las Vegas. This is our headquarters. And good morning, and thanks for joining us, and thanks for watching us on the replay. And we're just here to talk about, what the F Wednesday, right? Well, let's get it going.
Yeah, I had talked about this a little bit, and moving a little bit out of my comfort zone. I wanted to push myself a little bit and talk about something I'm not very proud of.
Sure.
We all have those moments in our careers, in our, whether we're working for somebody, working for ourselves, working for a client, working whatever, where we may not have made the best decision either for ourselves or for our clients. And kind of want to push myself today and talk a little bit about something that shaped the way I deal with my clients. Today, which was something that happened, I want to say this happened about 2006. As many of you know, I'm a concrete guy by trade. I did 20 plus years in the concrete business, decorative concrete, protective coatings. And I started my career as an account manager selling to contractors, training contractors in LA. I got my opportunity to move to Vegas, and soon after I was given ownership in a company. And one of my first jobs of coming aboard this company, and I'm brand new coming in, we had a job at night. It was to resurface the floor of an open restaurant bar. It was close to UNLV, always busy, but they were going to need to shut down for a couple of days for us to do our work. So we, again, I'm coming in, I think my first week was the week this was scheduled, or maybe I started a day or two before. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So we come in, we get everything out the first night, we grind the floors, we mask up as much as possible, did the floors, the business is shut down, we do the prep, we do the epoxies, and then he really wanted a really shiny black gloss floor. You know what I mean? When you're on stage, those black glossy floors, that's what he wanted, right? So, and that's what we did, man. We did a couple of coats, this epoxy layer, really to hone it. We would sand between coats and really get it shiny. And at the end, we were super proud of what we did, right? We made this floor look absolutely beautiful. So we came back as it was dry, and we were coming back to remove the masking and to enable his crew to come in and do a little bit of cleanup and open up the business. And so I came, and I was out the door. I was grabbing the masking, but I didn't realize that he was coming in. Let me back up a little bit. The owner of the restaurant was coming into to take a look and was loving the floor, but he got back to the fryer area. And I'm, again, pulling things out, putting things in the truck, just trying to roll up the job and get out of it. And he's over by the fryer area and he's shaking his head. And he's just shaking his head. And I'm looking at him. And he's just got done telling me how beautiful his floor was. So I wasn't really thinking in my mind that it was a job issue. And we're finishing up. I'm like, hey, buddy, I got to go. I got softball. I got a championship game. I got to go. Thanks so much. And appreciate everything. And he kind of bit his lip a little bit. And he's shaking his head. He let me walk out the door. The next day, we go in to get the final payment. He sat us down in his booth. He said, Maddie, Greg, who was my business partner at the time, so I really want to go over a couple things with you. And I was very upset yesterday with my fryers. You guys didn't take them off, and you guys weren't prudent enough to make sure my equipment was fully protected. And you guys just left. You didn't stay and make sure everything was good. And I was kind of visibly upset, and you guys just took off. And what that cost me was a whole day of shutting down my business. And I brought in extra crews. He showed me the cleaning costs. He had to replace all the baskets of his fryers. Anyway, the bottom line was I didn't take enough care and concern to check back in with him, seeing that he was upset, addressing it. Mistake was made. You know what I mean? Whether the mistake was made, it didn't matter who made the mistake. The mistake was made. I was the face of the company, and I abandoned him. I didn't check back in and make sure if there was an issue, how I could fix it. Because no matter what, we're going to make a mistake. If you're in something long enough, mistakes are going to happen. It doesn't matter, but it's how you deal with the mistake. So what that taught me, he sat us down, and you know what? By the way he showed to educate us instead of berating us was kudos to him. But he sat us down and said, hey guys, this is what happened. This is why I was visibly upset. This is how it impacted me. These were the financials. And by the way, you guys are paying for it, which we did. He owed us money. Like I said, we were coming back to collect the back end of our check. And the guy was straight up, man. He went through everything. He took into account everything. And I was so happy that he was able to teach me, but he was willing to teach me that lesson and didn't blast me. You know what I mean? He could have been like, most business owners, when something happens and affects their business, they freak out, lose their minds. There's no education. There's no point in making a mistake unless you learn from it, in my opinion. And learning, to make sure my customers 100% taken care of. There's not something on their mind. There's not one lingering issue. I mean, this was the last thing. And unfortunately, it was something that just wasn't taken care of on the front end, but we didn't find out to the very, very end. And not checking back in and getting that handled and putting myself in my client's shoes was my biggest mistake. So that's how I treat my clients at this point, is I put myself in their shoes. I try and look at every situation. When it was concrete, I would look at how the client looked at it. When we finished a job, generally, resurfacing a concrete deck, there was still chairs to go in if it was a restaurant. There was still baseboards to go in if it was still a house. But I still had to kind of look and imagine how it would be for the client as a finished product. And that is what I carry forward in how I treat people, in how I treat situations, is try and think of how are they reacting to it, what questions they may have internally that they may not be saying. Try and read your client a little bit. And at the end of the day, have empathy. Put yourself in their shoes. So that, I hope, was a good story. There was a lot longer version of that, but I didn't want to keep you here all night. And I know
there's always more details, of course, so but of course we have to be able to tell the story. That's good. It's a good story, man. We learn a lot of lessons. We learn the hard way. And one of the things, guys, I really like talking about with Matt is, we have a lot of experience in sales and dealing with people, and we're all of us. If all of us salespeople are almost on the same path, almost, right? We're dealing with a lot of people, the same experiences, emotions, and one of the things I was going to talk, because we said we're going to talk about what the F Wednesday or Wisdom Wednesday, and I had one I was going to say, or something that came to my mind. But when I talk to Matt, it just brings up all of a sudden it's this other thing I have to talk about something else. It's not something else, but the thing the word I always talk about when me and Matt talk about things, I always talk about follow-up. And follow-up has saved my ass so many times. I'm just going to tell you right now, in sales, with customer service, with clients, is the follow-up. One of the secrets, I'm going to tell you guys my biggest secret in keeping good relationships with customers or clients or people that you're working with, right, is that once you make a transaction, make sure that you have their information, their cell phone number, right? Follow-up can be very simple as a thank you at the end of a transaction or of a meeting. Hey, it was so nice to meet you. Here's my cell number if you have any questions or whatever, right? Does that mean when that person texts you, you have to follow up really fast? No, it just means that you have exchanged the information. They have a way to contact you if they have any questions, right? And so this is going to go with after the transaction's over or whatever you're done, or even a meeting, right? Follow up a couple days later with another text like, hey, just want to know if you have any questions. Is everything okay? Just want to make sure that you receive the item, or
right. Is it working properly? Anything like that?
Hey, let me know. I can make some time. I can explain things a little bit if you have any care about taking care of the product, whatever it is. Give them some value after that. So that way they're 100% sure that, they're confident that they dealt with the right person. And there's so many times, guys, and a little bit backstory about me. I'm in retail. Worked in luxury retail sales. I've been in sales. And so many times I've helped the client and say, we're going to ship it. We're going to send it to you. And I always make sure we know we send everything a certain time frame, so I know when the shipping date's going to get there. But I like to follow in between the shipping date time and just want to let them know that, hey, it's on its way, everything's going to be okay. And if it doesn't arrive, let me know. I'll follow up to make sure everything's okay. So you always follow up with each person, and man, that is so gold. And sometimes a client or a customer may not be home to sign for the item, or maybe they missed the delivery, or there's a problem, or they just don't know how. And this is how people are. And I'm going to tell you.
They're going to remember that. They're going to remember that you cared. They're going to remember that phone call, and then when it comes time to needing somebody or somebody else, they hear somebody else needs something, they're going to say your name.
And they're going to forget everything you told them in the beginning of the transaction too. So let's give you a good example. I'm going to sell you this pen, right? We always joke around about the pen sale. And you do the presentation, you go, ma'am, it's black. This is how you start the pen. This is you push this button right there. Simple. You push the button, and then you can write, right? You send the pen, they get the pen. They're like, oh, yeah, I got the pen. The pen's at my house, but I don't know how to start the pen. I told you like 20 times, lady. I told you, sir. We explained it, but we talked about the pen.
But hey, let me go ahead and
work your patience. You guys, hey, you remember? You don't have to say, I already told you, and come with. Just be like you. Sometimes you may have to sell it again. You're gonna have to go. Oh, that's right, ma'am. Or sir, just remember, when you on the top of it, and you explain it very nicely, and you go like that, and you just go, hey, great, and use it. And does it feel okay? Is everything okay? Great. Thank you so much. I appreciate working with you. Please let me know if you have any questions anymore. I'll be happy to answer.
Totally.
Yeah.
And that's on the line right now, agreeing with you. She's saying absolutely having a follow-up system, like you said, it's crucial.
Following up is so key, and it'll save you from, especially if you're working, you have a job, or if we're talking about your business page and you want the reviews. People will forget everything about from the beginning, but the follow-up, the end, it's like the dessert, right? Everything can be really crappy, but someone brings you, or they give you the free dessert.
That was a great meal. All of a sudden, that meal went from a 3-star to a 5-star.
They give you a big piece of cake, and you're like ice cream. You're like happy at the end. You're like, this is great. Well, that's how it has to be at the end of this, at the transaction of the sale. You have to give them the dessert, and you have to be sweet, be kind. You have to be patient, and really go and go. Great, thank you so much. Exactly. Yeah. So I appreciate that story, Matt, because definitely we forget about that. We sometimes we lose, and I've done it before where we lose patience. That's the reality. We have to learn how to be patient. We have to be patient with our impatience.
Absolutely.
So,
and the moral of that story is we learn lessons because there's no point making a mistake unless you learn from it. Period. I tell my son that. He's 9 years old. He makes mistakes all the time. I never make mistakes, so there's nothing more for me to learn. Obviously, I'm just kidding. But I tell him all the time, you're going to make mistakes. It's what you're here for. We're here to teach you. But there's no point in you making a mistake if you don't learn from it. So the moral of the story is we went on to do other jobs for this gentleman because he saw that he taught us a huge lesson. He saw that we did a good job. And that, we were stand-up guys. We stood behind our product and our mistakes. and we're able to move forward. So at the end of the day, when you do make a mistake, when you do fall on your face, stand up. I'm going to say man up because I'm a man. Man up. Say, hey, man, I screwed up. This is where we're at. These are the ways I can see to fix it. What do you think? How can we take the next step? And that's really all it is. There's a lot of people, especially in the real estate industry, that seem to think that bad news comes like fine, it gets better with time. I'm a firm believer that bad news needs to be handled immediately. So if you got some bad news, call the client to say, hey, we've got an issue. We need to resolve. Let's have a conversation. Don't avoid it. Don't not pick up the phone because that's going to make it 100 times worse.
10 times worse if you don't answer the phone, you don't text back, you don't say, hey, I'll set up a time. And you guys, I've been in many situations where things have gone really, really bad. There's things where we're talking about like something, expensive things that have not worked. It's stressful, right? So you have to set up a time where you do have to text back the person or call back or say, hey, I would say recommend even texting back and you say, hey, I'm going to call you at this time. Is that okay? Okay. Set a quiet time for yourself to have a conversation with this person. Make sure you have all your points outlined and you sit down quietly and you talk it out with the person and try to have a reasonable conversation. But if you're trying to handle these kind of conversations, the stressful ones, while you're driving, while your kids are, or people are being distracted and you're not hearing the customer, or don't try to get into an argument.
Compounding the mistake.
It's gonna work out. I'm telling you, you're making you're adding fuel to the fire. That's what you're doing.
100%.
And it's okay to if you can't handle it and if it's too much for you, then sometimes you just say, hey, you know what? It's time to move on. I'm so sorry, and then just cancel everything and move forward. Because at the end of the day, some people are they're just never going to make it happy, and I get that. People are just they're going to be the Karens of the world, right? We always joke around the Karen, come on. But you're never going to make Karen happy. I guarantee you. But the goal is, and we talk about the group and what we're doing here. That's why we have to learn how to engage, create value, and that's why I always tell people that. So when you engage and you get to meet new people, you're creating value to people. You're telling people about yourself. You're telling people something that's going to work for them in their lives or whatever it is. And then you find a connection with them. And it's so funny, but the people that we connect with the most and the people that we like, we're going to want to work with them, and we're going to understand that things happen and people make mistakes. Like the guy that was talking with Matt, the guy probably connected with Matt somehow or understood Matt somehow, or there's maybe reminded him of something. So he wanted to help him. And that, obviously, there was, but he said he communicated with you. And there's so many people in my life that's come along where I've met that I've made mistakes and they've talked to me and maybe they weren't, but at the same time they were patient with me and they were like, hey, you know what? It's okay. Let's just move forward, but we got to take care of this now and be thankful for people when you make a mistake. Yeah. Say thank you so much. I apologize that happened, and don't ever say it never happened again, because that's I think, that'll never happen again.
You're learning, man. That's the way I look. You're winning or you're learning.
You got to say, I think let me take care of it right now. Don't making excuses and playing the blame game is the wrong thing to do. You can't blame you can't even blame the FedEx guy or the delivery guy. I tell you that right now. You can't even blame the bank.
You know what? At the end of the day, if you're going to blame anybody, there's only one person any time to blame. It's yourself. You take full accountability, but at the same time, you correct the issue. This is the problem. This is what I did. I'm sorry I screwed the pooch, but let's fix it. Or hey, my team, or whatever. And unfortunately, I've had those conversations. We try and put everything in place, but again, right now we're in a perfect storm of an event that a lot of people don't know a lot of the answers, and we're talking about the people that do the mortgages and do the financing and all that. They don't have all the right answers. So again, mistakes are going to happen. Things are going to happen because of fluid situations. But if you take full accountability and you handle the situation, you're not only going to get a customer for life, you're going to get pearls out of it, because you respect and appreciate that you did your job and you went above and beyond. And not only was there an issue, it was how you fixed it. And you know what? it's anybody can do a transaction. I always say anybody can do a real estate transaction. It's not very difficult. But when it does get difficult, not anybody can handle that. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to find out too late that you're dealing with somebody that doesn't know how to deal with a difficult situation. And you don't want to be that person either.
Oh, absolutely. And there's so many times where I've worked with somebody and things were a little tough. Things were okay, right? They worked with somebody else and someone bombs it even more. They don't even take accountability. Now that person comes back and they said, hey, you know what? I just want to work with you.
Right.
I love the way you do the way you do things, and thank you so much, and I appreciate it. So,
I got a lady right now. I'm a loud, boisterous guy, and she's like, "Man, you know, I got my kid, turn me down, but I love you, Maddie. But don't change. But man, you know, hey, people are gonna love you for you. My clients are not gonna love Ben, and Ben's clients are not gonna love me. You know, if we're in the same business, you know what I mean? And we're not. But, you know, say that we are, we're going to attract people differently. I was on the phone yesterday. I was in a Zoom call with a couple other real estate agents in Las Vegas. Why would you talk to other real estate agents in Las Vegas? Hey, because we're all in the same boat. Their clients are definitely not going to attract to me, and my clients are not going to attract to them. And at the end of the day, the people that are in this group, we're going to try and help and encourage and support you. Okay, I don't have all the answers, and there's, you know, different ways that we can connect you with people that have great answers. Let's talk, for instance, Patrick yesterday. Patrick, I don't know if you're still with me. I know you were on a few moments ago, but Patrick sent me over something that he wanted me to take a look at. Appreciate your trust in sending that over to me, man. I really appreciate that. You know, just asking my advice. I'm like, hey, man, I really can look at, but let me get this in front of Ben because I think he's going to have a little bit different eye. And he's going to see this a little bit differently, and he's going to be able to help you better. So it's all about connecting with the right people. It is really, sorry, I kind of spun off a little bit differently, but that's kind of where I ended up there.
Remember, I think that our mastermind, and JoJo was asking about, he was asking about websites, and I said, hey, you know what, because we do the phone sites, and he said, oh, can you help me with some real estate stuff? And I can put together a funnel for him, not a big deal, but who's going to do a better job with a real estate funnel is Maddie. Because he for himself. I'm helping people with MLMs, home business. I love helping people with home business, especially I've MLM before. And one of the things I'm really good at is building teams and MLMs. I've done that since I was a kid. I can tell you a whole story about that. But I understand where the fault, we talked about this, Matt and I, where MLMs are failing, right, with the affiliate link.
Right, totally.
Too much information on those.
Sure.
Matt's not, if a guy has a question about something about his MLM, or if it's retail sales, he's gonna, Matt's gonna say, hey, talk to Ben about this. Maybe he'll give you an idea. So right. You gotta find people to talk to, and that's why we have the group, right? We have different conversations. We have Lauren. She's at her balloon company. Someone asked me about balloons.
Well, she's got a world champion in her corner.
Yeah, or entertainment. I mean, you're talking about man, we had that party, right? That event.
Yep.
And her husband can make a Yoda out of a balloon. I'm like, this guy.
In 5 minutes with working headlights and everything.
About an artist, so definitely we're gonna refer people to them, So we always.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just gonna.
No. Thank you all. Hey, Lance, thank you for stopping by. Patrick, again. Colette, thank you for stopping by, girl. Woo woo. Dante, what's up, big dog? Roderick, thank you guys so much for joining. Hey, we're doing this because we had a lot of conversations between us, and we're giving each other just knowledge bombs, just nuggets of information that we've learned from either training seminars, podcasts, YouTube. I spend a lot of my time. I have my little earbuds in. I don't have them today. I spend my time with those earbuds in my ear, and they're working all day long because I'm putting positive messages into my head of marketing and everything else. So in doing that, I wanted to give back. I joined the group and I became a little bit more active, or a lot more active, because I have that heart where I want to give back. And and giving back helps me too. So if you have tips, you have tricks, if you have a bad story that you want to share with the group, not a bad story, that's not the way to say it, of a story where you learned a great lesson, share it with us. Ask us to come on live. We are inviting you. This is an open invitation. We would love to have you. We're having different episodes per day. So wherever it would be appropriate, we would love to hear from you. If you have a specific question, type it in the comments. We would love to address it right here in this live. That's what we're here for. We want to make ourselves available because I know back in 2002, I was driving a little F-150 pickup truck all over frickin' Southern California trying to sell to contractors. I didn't know a damn thing about sales. I didn't know a damn thing about prospecting, and I didn't know a damn thing about lead generation. Okay? I've spent a lot of time from then to now to figure a lot of these things out, and I would love to share a lot of those nuggets with you. Again, I'm a practitioner, not an expert. Ben, I get a lot from him because I bounce a lot of my ideas off of him, and he's got a lot of different experiences and a lot of the same experiences, but with a lot of the same philosophies. So we connect well, bounce a lot of ideas. That's what this group's about. Get active, support each other. When you see a post out there, maybe it's spelled wrong, drop somebody a DM real quick. Say, hey, check your spelling. Looking out for you. Whatever. I know I'm going quick. Spell correct or autocorrect. I don't check it all the time. What about you?
Yeah, all the time. I'll just finish it off with this, guys. And I always tell the story of this is actually a story. The Facebook groups is growing. It's changing. Okay. There is a formula. There is a science. There is some tech, and I can give it to all guys. I'll give it to you. But the reality is that are you going to work it? Are you going to go through the pains? Are you going to go through the struggles? And Matt's seen a lot of the behind of what's happening. Right? It's building the people in the group, communicating, having the conversations. All that. I mean, if you look at, I'm going to just show you guys all my notes. I'm taking, when I'm looking down, I'm taking like pages of notes from our conversation, the things that we're talking about. So it's not something like that you can just do as a hobby. Okay. There is a plan. There's a strategy to it. And we can definitely show you and give you some ideas to implement. But thing is, let's go back. If you ever guys watched the Super Bowl, and I was telling the story about the Super Bowl, Facebook made a commercial. You know how much it costs for a commercial during the Super Bowl? A lot of money.
5.5, I believe.
What was their main commercial? Facebook groups, right? So there is something there, and I was already ahead of it, where I was involved in other groups, studying other groups, breaking down other groups, trying to get involved in groups, selling in other groups, without even being me, and not trying to be a salesperson or trying to pitch people or trying to be a spammer, right? So there's a different way of doing it, and we are here to help you. So when you join the group, you're not going to be known as the spammer. You're not going to be known as that guy, or you're not going to go to jail, right? We want to prevent that. We want to help people out. The whole purpose of this group is support and encouragement. We want to support and encourage you, and want to give you the tidbits. That's why that's where the same videos I make all the time is don't go to Facebook jail. Don't be a spammer.
Don't be a spammer. Yep.
Yeah, because I know what happens is you guys all of a sudden somebody gets excited about their business, they're reposting, you join 60 groups, and I'm going to call them out right now. It's all the Craigslist groups, the backyard sales groups, the
offer up group or something.
Those are just all spam groups, man. I've been in those groups before, and how are you going to be able to network when everyone's just trying? You're competing. There's a toaster.
Post. There's no interaction. There's no conversation.
No conversation. There's nothing happening. And the only time things happen is when people get pissed off. That's the only time I've ever seen any conversation.
It's a little fiery.
Yeah, people post something about something, and it triggers people, and then there's like this world of like BS. And I guarantee you that does not happen in this group, right? That's not going to happen. And we see it. If that happens, and if you're someone that starts a fire and you're not being relevant in the group, you can go to those groups and join those groups. Go to those groups and have those groups.
Hey,
Here, we're here to
sunshine and rainbows, but we're here to help each other. That's the bottom line.
understand everyone's entitled to their opinion. I get that and I respect that. But if all of a sudden we're under this video, you start talking about how, you start putting your we talk about politics or religion, and I trust me, we can have beers over this and have fights. I love having
but no, we're not typing all that stuff out.
It's right. We're not going to have these conversations with our customers or clients or people that we're dealing with, right? So we have to learn to have our boundaries when we're we can't always be like, hey, Mrs. Jones, by the way, and then trying to picture you're trying to help her, and then all of a sudden you start telling her about your beliefs. It doesn't work that way. So
and that just turns the conversation from them to about you, and you don't want to do that anyway. That's a sales trick anyway. You don't want to talk about you. You talk about them anyway. So
yeah, everybody, we talked about
on this knows my personal beliefs on politics, my religion, really, because it's not something that I really talk about because it's right now it's not relevant. Again, like you said, if we're sitting over having some champagne or having a Jameson and ginger or something and having a conversation, that's a little different story. But we all have different opinions, and not that they're wrong, but you need to keep that and know where to separate.
That there's other groups for that. If that really is your interest and you love that, go to those groups and learn here how to engage, how to create value, and how to connect. And you can go to those groups and be an all-star. And I'm going to tell you guys the secret. Okay, and then I'm going to finish up after this.
We do this like 3 or 4 times every time, though. You know that, right?
What was that?
That we're going to wrap up, and we go, we'll wrap up, and we go to another point.
Matt, we always talk. This is what we like to talk about. But this is the last thing is one of the things. Join groups that are relevant to you, what you enjoy, and what you love.
Right.
And happy. I'm in martial arts. I'm in jiu-jitsu. I'm in a 40 and over jiu-jitsu group where a bunch of guys are in there, and these are all old martial artists, and they're all just like, man, these guys are the hammers of hammers, and I can post in that group, and I'm probably 50% of the people in that group are going to love what I say. 50% are going to really ream me, but I love it because I'm getting engagement in there. People are seeing, and the people that are really, and these are like locker room talk kind of conversations where I'm getting kicked. And these guys are like really. I've shown Matt some of these posts, and they're like, "Man, these guys are rough." Like, I love that grittiness. I like those gritty conversations where you're like, oh, you just need to get up and go, and you're being lazy, whatever, those kind of things like that. I'm not taking it personally. I'm laughing at it, chuckling with it, and so find groups that you love, go in those groups and try to create engagement, create value.
Personality. Put personality into your words.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Again, the whoop whoop thing kind of came up, but I just started doing that, and now people do it all the time. I see whoop whoop in comments all the time. I love it, but people remember that. Maddie, you know what? If you knew me at a younger age, if you would have called me Maddie, I probably would have punched you in the nose. But now, say again?
Yeah, go ahead, because I'm going to tell you, this is actually a good post that you made, and this is the same thing I do. Is the very, very simple. And then we'll go, maybe next week we'll talk about this and I'll show it to you guys how to do this. But Matt just put a picture of himself. Let me see if I can put, that was a picture of him right there, right? And he just put go. And look, man, it's got 18 likes and 12 comments on there. And it's very, very simple. A picture of him working, let's go. And people are starting engaging on that. That's like, this is what you want to be doing, guys. I don't know if you can see that. Go to the group and you can see that. It's just that's the kind of power that you can have, where you just post a picture of yourself, put a picture, put some words on there, and create the engagement. And that shows people. When I see this picture, it says, "Matt, let's go." He's working. He's got a lot of comments on there. People are talking to him. He's engaging back and having conversations. And that's
what you want at the end of the day. That's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah, that's the goal. Is it easy? No. It takes a little time. But once you get there, man,
My
You're
son
gonna have fun.
joined us. Come on, stand up. My son just joined us in here. Hey, Minnie, how you doing? Sal, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. Hey, Maddie. It's my son, everybody. Maddie Jordan. He's 9 years old. My baseball stud. Stop. Ah, there you go. All right, say goodbye. Bye. So anyway, yeah, totally, man. I put a lot of effort and practice in trying to learn these things because I was putting those posts out and I wasn't getting any success. And that's really when we started connecting. And I like I said, you want to live in the comments because being social on social media, that's what it's about. The fact that I sell real estate, people are going to learn that about you or about me. They're going to learn that how Ben, what products Ben has. Patrick, I talked about him earlier. He's interacting with me, so I'm learning about his product. You know what I mean? And we're not trying to sell each other in this system. There are going to be products that people approach me with every day. Hey, Maddie, you're a real estate agent. Can you promote me here? I'm like, I have a partner there. It's great that you're there, and I give you all the support in the world. Just because we're all here doesn't mean we all have to buy from each other. We're all here to learn from each other, share each other's experiences, share each other's failures, share each other's mistakes, and share some successes, man. Because at the end of the day, that's what drives me, man. That's what makes
I love hearing stories are awesome. I love hearing it. I love hearing when people tell me, hey, Ben, we did this, we did that, and this is what happened. I got this client from this. From, someone reposted my post and they went into my profile page and they sent me a DM. And now I'm like, oh, and I love hearing those stories. I love hearing the stories of like, hey, Ben, I almost quit. But I've been in your group for a while. Thank you so much for all the information. Because it's so easy. The easiest thing is to quit. I can go right now and I can go, you know what? I don't want to do this no more. Man, but the more, I'm telling you, the more people that you're helping out, the more it is that sense, that feeling of purpose and feeling of doing the right thing. It does motivate you. That's your motivation, right? If you're out there I can see how it feels if you're not, if you're out there, I'm saying I know, but if you're out there not just thinking about yourself, right? And then when things do get a little hard, it's going to be about you. It's going to be about you. And you're not going to make it about everybody else, right? You're not going to have gratitude. You're not going to be thankful because you're not thankful for the people that you helped out, that helped you out. It's this what goes around comes around mindset.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. And the law of reciprocity is huge. That's the thing. You want to help people. That's what this world is supposed to be. We all have different experiences. We all can help each other. The minute you understand that, the whole world's going to change for you, because the more you help other people get what they want, the more you're going to be not only selfishly feel good, but the more you're going to get in return. Because that's just the way the world works. If you're going to be, and you know what, there are the selfish people out there you can point to that have made success great.
Sure.
Talk about those people. We're real people. We're talking about the general populace.
I don't want to be known for that. The reality is that we don't want to be known for that. We don't want our family members. We want to be proud of what we're doing.
No substance behind. There's no foundation. There's nothing there. What do you got to offer?
Yeah, there's a sense of chivalry, right? And that's just me. I want to be known as a good person, as a good man. That's doing versus someone out there that's just trying to, take. I don't want to do that.
Yep. And that's why we do this. So I'm going to wrap it up there. We're a little bit about 40 minutes, which at this point I think is our limit on Zoom, because I don't. Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and join it. I don't really know. Depends how we evolve. But hey, thank you. Lorraine just popped in here just a few minutes ago. Sal, I think I mentioned you, Minnie. Everybody else, Annette. Thank you guys all for joining us. I really appreciate your guys' time, confidence in just giving us a few minutes of your day just to say hi. All right? When you see us in the group, shout out to us. Be active. If you have some questions that we can help you with, send them our way. Shoot us a quick DM. That's probably the best way to get in touch with us, okay? I look forward to our conversation tomorrow. Thursday is, I don't have my notes in front of me. I don't even know what the theme is Thursday because it's going to be the first Thursday. But you know what? Whatever it is, I thank you all for joining us. We're going to bring as much value, education, experience, and practice as we can. Ben, what you think? Good?
And as much as Matt say, I love what Matt says. What did he say? Slay the day, right?
Slay the day, baby.
Okay, so Take care.
Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And again, slay the day. Bye-bye.